Just a few of the biggest oil companies in the US are responsible for 20% of CO2 emissions from fossil fuels between 1965 and 2015. 20% over 50 years. Now that's called persistence. Those CO2 emissions are driving climate change impacts, not by 2050, not in 10 years, but now. For example, sea level rise and storm surges are flooding coastal properties, contaminating drinking water, and eliminating coastal habitats. Cities throughout California have spent millions of dollars on infrastructure and cleanup from that damage, and they will have to continue to spend billions of taxpayer dollars to prevent and recover from pollution-induced climate change. Oil companies, meanwhile, have stayed out of the light, avoiding accountability and bearing none of these public costs. These companies need to be held legally accountable. And do you know one person who has the power to do that? You guessed it, the city attorney! City attorneys across California are suing big oil companies for restitution from the damage they've caused and the costs they've imposed. To paraphrase from one of these cases, oil companies have been aware and continue to be aware that the fossil fuels they produce result in dangerous global warming that harms coastal cities. That conduct constitutes a substantial and unreasonable interference with and obstruction of public rights and property, including the public rights to health, safety, and welfare. Oh, you city attorneys, I couldn't have said it better myself. Despite Los Angeles being one of the cities most vulnerable to sea level rise and one of the most polluted cities in all of the US, LA City Attorney Mike Feuer has not joined his colleagues in other cities. Sea level rise is just one of many issues that demands action from the city attorney, who has the power to sue major polluters for all kinds of wrongs, draft environmental justice policy, decrease misdemeanor charges leveled against people in EJ communities, and help train the next generation of environmental lawyers to lead the climate movement. The city attorney can be a powerful force for environmental justice in LA, and we need an ambitious, dedicated environmental advocate in that position. The climate crisis, the climate emergency, requires mobilizing every office and every resource that we have. When thinking about environmental justice, the city attorney may not be the first thing that comes to mind, or the 107th, but it should come to mind, because that office has the potential to help LA be a leader in holding polluters to task and giving EJ policy real teeth. The city attorney is an elected position, and we, the voters, get to decide our next city attorney's agenda. Let's make sure that that agenda includes lawsuits and policies that dramatically reduce pollution and that empower the communities that have been harmed the most. To learn more and to join us in calling for a city attorney who prioritizes environmental justice, visit climateimpactla.com and sign our petition today.